Yes. Good day, everyone. So today we are gathered here to do a research-based debate today, and the topic which we chose today is the implementation of GST and its impacts on Indian economy. And I will be so, I will be in the favor of the topic, whereas Keman will be speaking against it. As this is a research-based topic, we have already made our points, and we will start now. Yeah. Mm. The effect of GST on Indian economy. So before I go ahead, let us understand what GST exactly is. So I'll try to break down what GST is. So GST stands for Goods and Service Tax, and I'm trying to break it down even further. So goods and service here means goods are something which are tangible, like clothing, like clothes or mobile phone, and services are like intangible stuff, that is like the customer service you get during a restaurant. It can be considered as a service. And tax is something which we have, it's the mandatory fees which you have to pay to the government for the goods and services. And there are two types of taxes mainly, that is direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax include like income, your like normal income or like capital gain tax, and indirect taxes include value added tax, excess duty, stamp duty, etc. And in 2017, in July 2017, the government of India introduced this concept of GST, which replaces the indirect tax. So the reason behind this is like the normal indirect taxes, all the taxes like VAT, excess duty were really confusing and it was really complicated. GST was a comprehensive indirect tax that replaces like the web of taxes like VAT, service tax, excess duty, etc. It followed the concept of one nation, one tax, which like tried to uniform tax structure across the country. Like before I go ahead, I would like to take an example. Like imagine a scenario where like you are owning a business, and let's say you are a small business owner from Goa and you are trying to sell goods in some other states. Earlier, before pre GST India, we had to pay excess duty. On top of that, we had to pay VAT as per the state rules or the entry tax as per whichever state. And it had a lot of tax rules, rates, and paperwork, which led to many delays, corruption, and like cascading effects of taxes. So what are the major benefits of GST? So to support that, I have five main points. Uh, GST was based on the concept of one nation, one tax. The GST unified multiple indirect taxes, as I mentioned earlier, under one system. This simplified the process of tax filing, and it made it easier for local businesses or small businesses to file taxes in a better way. Second, it reduced the cascading effects of taxes. So, what is cascading effect of taxes? It basically means taxes on taxes. Like for example, generally whenever you run a business, there is like the four stages that are producer, wholesaler, retailer, and consumer. Earlier, we had to pay tax for any business owner. We had to pay tax for on every stage of like every stage of manufacturing, and which ended up like taking all the burden on the consumer, which added a lot of taxes on the like on the shoulder of consumer, that is the final person like us who use the product. And because of GST, this process was simplified, and we had only one single tax called GST, and it made things a lot easier. The next point will be about transparency. GST was mainly tech driven, and uh, as it was tech driven, it was online filing, reducing human error and chances for corruption. My next point is about the ease of doing business. Like as it is we don't have to pay taxes at multiple stages. It simplifies the process a lot, and also it helped in the logistic or supply chain, because whenever we had to transfer good from one place to another, we there was a many checkpoints which were removed due to GST, and the cutting time and the delivery time was reduced by a lot. My final point will be about increased government revenue over time. Yes, I agree that GST wasn't like a overnight success. Like all the campaigns or all the reforms, it takes time, and in the longer run, we are seeing its effects. It helped many. I guess more and more people started using GST. It was easier for the government to collect revenues and to provide better services. Yeah, that's my take.
Yeah. Okay, let me start by stating some statistics. 30% people are below poverty line in India. We live in India where 70% people have no healthy diet. 200 million people go every night to sleep without food. 36% people are children are malnourished. And imagine going and asking them for GST or the or whatever goods and service they are having, like 18% GST on the basic sanitation like toothpaste. So today I stand strongly against GST, and I'll be stating I have five major points to state why GST was a failure, or not a failure as such, but why we need to hold down and not be in a delusion that GST is success, and we have to have some modifications done. So my first statement that I would consider is the one basic ideology of GST that was there, which is one tax, one nation, one tax. Now, firstly, GST itself, the current GST scenario is itself not supporting that, because there are different slabs like 5%, 10%, 28%. So the concept actually goes off, and then there is no GST for petrol, alcohols. Some items are given out of the GST. So the whole concept why it was started is somewhere not balancing. But this was my very weaker point. If we consider, if we ignore the philosophical aspect, then there are more stronger aspect which I want to showcase today. My second point goes towards corruption and GST fraud. uh, we have all heard this somebody saying आपको GST अलग से भरना पड़ेगा, or or somebody trying to have make frauds on this on benefits of having GST, uh, like saying GST, I want some additional fees and not paying to the GST. There have been many fake GST charges. Like people nowadays, like we are not that much educated to check every receipt that I think even if, some poor places also they are not educated enough to check every receipt. And there are GST, there's GST number on the receipt, there's GST number allocated to the shop. So nobody goes and literally verifies if it is correct or not. So this can be a very major reason why there would be GST frauds. Um, okay, next thing I would like to say about is black money. I do agree that GST was held for transparency, but in other ways people are avoiding to use online transaction, and there are some many people, many shopkeepers who don't allow GPay, which could have been very easier for them, but they take cash so that they can ease out the entire situation of GST and like filing the GSTs. So these are some strong cases why strongly why my second point is very strong, that corruption and GST frauds exist. Third thing, like as I briefly mentioned, I would again like to state properly about the complexity. The process is very complex about GST. The GST filing, it takes like it takes a lot time. Some points which Ayush mentioned about some points like the cascading of GST. So you have to, like, every month you'll have to file the GST, but sometimes you give some certain things on credit. So what shopkeepers do is shopkeepers give their money from their pocket to just avoid the situation for the month, but which can lead to a lot of drain in their lives. Okay. Secondly, I would say, if the government is taking goods and service tax or indirect taxes from the entire nation with so many population, why is the GST? Why is the portal of website not working and have many technical glitches? So this is again a very problematic situation for people who are filing GST. Next, I would say about startups and small businesses. It is nightmare for them to handle another CA or some finance advisory, because it. I know, but just at the start when you are starting up something, it becomes very difficult for them. Maybe in the later stage it is okay, but the entire process, as I mentioned, it is slow, thus making it difficult for them. And my next point is about economy. So these are some of the reasons I feel that the entrepreneurship mindset is decreasing, because the hindrance to enter is become more. there is less startup, there is small business face many problems. And maybe tourism also, because even foreigners pays indirect tax through GST. So entire thing lead to draining of the economic side. So I would also like to state about countries like China, which also has GST, but the GST slab is 20% maximum, but India has around 28%, and it is still not revoked. Uh, Again, I would say if there was no GST, or if there was any other GST, then it would have been easier for middle class to circulate their economy, and there'll be good economic flow. And also to mention Arun Jaitley, the ex finance minister, he has also stated that 28% of GST is too much. Okay, my fifth and last point is, okay, let's talk about numbers. I will tell some numbers why it is unfair. First, about basic sanitary needs. Toothpaste, 18% GST. Sanitary pads, 12% GST. Poor versus rich. Somebody for quality, government is not focusing on the air quality right now. And if somebody tries to get air conditioning, it is considered as luxury, and they give 28% of GST. And luxury car also takes 28% of GST. And I feel it is really unfair. 64% of people are without life insurances, so there should be no GST on life insurance, right? But no, there is 18% of GST on life insurances as well. Okay, I have also mentioned that people are not aware about GST numbers and all, so maybe the education should be free, but no, the books stationery provide 5% of GST, coaching provides 18% of GST. Like, I also feel that it is unfair for certain states to have GST issue. That there could be problem in different states, like Bihar. It gives 18% of GST when their average income is around 45,000. uh, but the same condition for Maharashtra, whose income level average income is around 22 lakhs, they pay the same GST for the toothpaste. So it is unfair for certain people. And these are some strong 5 points which I feel uh, which makes my belief stronger that GST is not good implemented, and we cannot be in the delusion that GST is success. Yeah. Rebuttal phase.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to start, Ayush?
Uh, yes, okay. So as you were saying that GST was not so well implemented and it's really difficult. So what do you suggest any alternatives which you could use?
Hmm. I'm not denying the fact that tax is not needed. Tax is needed, but I would like to state some other form of taxes, like inheritance tax. Maybe that could have been implemented, and it could also, focus on something called as nepotism, which we are having right now, like inherited wealth from the some maybe somebody's parent is rich, so they can like have inherited tax in that. Or I would say, we say that people are not paying income taxes, but then the fact that entrepreneurship mindset is dampened at the start, like small businesses face so many loss at the start itself, is like again contradicting, is again giving more uh, tax issues. Then so that is also one reason why I think GST shouldn't be considered. And in a country like India, which has so much immense potential, I think there should be more job openings, which will again bring a good circulation of economy. And like there should be good income system, and like income, the major win over the tax could be on income itself. And then my last point would be about the agriculture tax. Like there's no 0% agriculture tax, but there are some agriculturists who like earn into crores, and that should be intervened. There should be proper case done on that. And like it is not really fair to have 0% tax for the people, agriculturists who are earning in crores. So these are some alternate things which I could think of impromptu right now, over what is alternate to GST. But I think we can get more better results.
Yeah.
Um, okay, my question to you is it fair for a state which has like average income lesser than other state to have so equal amount of GST?
Like as the GST is defined in multiple steps, like 0%, 5%, 15, 18%, as you mentioned. You're supposed to pay only for, the essential items are usually taxed much lesser, or 0 to 5%, and usually the luxury goods are taxed like around 28%. So irrespective of spending, it will be like the essential stuff won't be taxed as much as the luxury goods. So I don't really think it is specific to the state. If like lower income state have to pay more taxes as such, it is as per the goods which they are buying. For them, they have to pay the certain amount of tax. And like 18% at one higher income or 18% at lower income will be basically at the end it's just 18%, and not like they are asked to pay more as such. Like by the percentage terms, it is like 18% only, and the absolute terms will of course vary.
Okay. My another question to you on the similar line is about okay, then like it is like evident that everyone is paying tax. Indirect tax is paid by everyone to GST. So aren't we supposed to expect some good quality of life? Like as I've said about air quality, like people put air conditions, but government is not focusing on air quality right now. So but they are paying the same amount of tax as luxury cars. So don't you think that is unfair?
Good question. Uh, the main purpose of any taxes is for government revenue, and the revenue is mostly used for, as they say, for welfare of the people. And like now this depends on the state government and the central government. If the government is good, then they will definitely use it in a good way. uh, like at least for the state of Goa, I think the taxes are used in a good way, and at least we have a better road and a better air quality compared to this other states. But it boils down to the people at the top, whoever's running the state government. Depends on that person, and we can't really say that due to GST it is we are not able to tackle the air quality issue.
Do you have any questions, Ayush?
You mentioned about it's difficult for entrepreneurship, and it increases the resistance to start a new venture. But in the country like India, where all the regulations to start the business is actually very tough, and it's difficult to get into, I don't think the GST is the only limiting factor to it. There are many other regulations also, other many laws, other mandates we have to get from the government, which also takes much more time. And in if anyone want to do entrepreneurship in India, then I think they should be mentally prepared to get it, like be prepared to face it. So I don't really think that GST is the only limiting factor for that. It's more like a counterpoint, not really a question.
Okay. Uh, okay, but don't you think the like a small small business who is just having maybe they want to out like online marketing. I am not getting the exact word, but for them it will very difficult to sell but products of like online to different state to different different regions of India. Like they'll have to have proper filings of GST because of the IGST that you have mentioned. And don't you think that will hinder their start, because they might have like feel the need of CA, like it will again drain their like inputs, don't you think?
I think it is actually a very essential part of a business to have their financials correct, and like to report everything correctly. And for that, it is, if you're not from that background, you will required to have a CA, or in otherwise it is not really possible to do business in India. And again, I don't think it limits because only of GST, because there are many other issues the startups are facing.
Okay,
It's,
yes. I really appreciate that, and I wanted to ask a counter question after your statement, which is if GST has so much potential, why is the portal, the website, still lagging behind? And like why is the time to like you mentioned about IGST, you get something in return, you have to apply at ITC. So why is the entire process so slow?
That's actually an interesting question because almost all the government side, even the college websites, really lag. And honestly, I have no idea why the reason is. We need to hire a better, not hire, but have a, even in the country like India where there are many engineers, so many graduates, and they say they are unemployable, but like unemployed, and we can of course use their skills. There are many good technicians who can help to build a better website, and I think India is currently lagging at that part, and we should do better in that case.
Any other questions, Ayush?
Mm, no, I'm good.
Okay, my question to you, another question to you is, why is the highest limit of GST in India 28%, and like good and other countries like equivalent countries like China have 20%?
Mm, I would say as per my knowledge, I think the reason behind it is India is a developing country, whereas a country like China is already developed, and India comparatively needs more revenue to become a developed country. So that's why they are having a tax rate of around 28% on luxury goods mostly. And if someone can afford a luxury good, then I think uh, they should pay the that much amount of taxes for the betterment of the country. And I think it will reduce over time as we are on the road to become a developed country.
Do you have any questions, or we can go on the next phase?
uh, GST definitely simplified the cascading effect of taxes. We don't have to pay taxes at every stage, and like it simplified the process. So earlier it used to be like the end consumer had to pay take the burden of all the taxes, and now it's much lesser. So what do you want to say on that?
I think again like I firstly I think it simplified the process, but most of the people do not are not aware, and like even government is not trying to initiate any programs for like educating other even in our schools. Like we never had any concept of taxing or like GST when they are implementing, so they should have put some efforts from their side as well. And I think because of the negligence of the educate hello, yeah,
Go, go ahead.
because of negligence of the educating part, I feel many of the retailers or many of the like business people, they are avoiding the online transactions to just get like don't not falling in the hustle, and like this increases more corruption on the other hand. So I don't really feel that is simplifying anyways. Like even if it is simplifying, there should have been good educative campaigns.
Yeah, education is definitely important in that part. Uh, just give me a minute. Never mind. So basically, what I wanted to, I was looking for the figure, but I'm not able to find it.
That's
So
fine.
the major income for the government of India are taxes. I guess it's more than around almost 50%. And if we don't levy 28% of taxes right now, then what would be good sources of income for a country like India?
uh, I think my answer would be the same as like even I had just overseen the statistics, and it was 28% was of income taxes. Like I'm not against taxes, but I'm against the implementation of GST and the delusion that it is perfect. Like
No,
I have
I'm not saying we shouldn't like we shouldn't have taxes. I'm saying taxes should be there,
yeah.
but if you don't have like as you mentioned that 28% is really high, and we should have lower percentage like China. But
Mhm.
if we have that lower percentage of taxes, then like what are the other alternatives from where the country like India can get the revenue?
Yeah, my answer would be same about the inheritance tax. Then finding about the agriculture tax, like making it 0%, and some
Yeah.
people earning the
Mm.
same answer,
Yeah.
and improving more income, jobs opportunity for people. And I think if there is little lesser GST, then even middle class families or below poverty line people could also contribute to the economy, and there'll be good circulation of money. This is what I feel.
Yeah. Good enough.
Yeah, feedback.
Yeah.
Today I wasn't able
In
to
the
have any feedback, but one feedback I have, I was trying to be little dramatic at certain places, like 18% of this, but
yeah.
that could have done in a better way. That is what I felt. And in research, there is a scope that we can bring such figures and be very dramatic, or be not try to not be monotonous. So I would appreciate you, even you try the same thing in our next debates.
Yeah, I actually wanted to say the same point. Like, I think it was good from your part. Like your last point, fifth point, you like ask a lot of questions. Uh, I don't remember the questions now.
Uh-huh. Sanitary
Like on
pads.
some products, it should be tax free, but is it? No. And then you like conveyed your point. That was really good. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
And that was only actually the only point which I really like.
Yeah, and I want even you to try this, because that is how we try the vocal image being not monotonous.
Hmm. uh, when I was listening to you, I thought the answer is no, but when you said but, like you really changed the complete gear and took a different turn, which was really good.
Yes, yes. Other than that, it was good. I think we
Yeah,
also
even
we are aware of the GST. I wasn't aware before, so I think it helped. Yeah, you were saying something.
yeah, even your answer on like the other income sources, that was actually good. I was expecting a little bit more, but uh, like the inheritance tax and the agriculture part, I wouldn't be able to like think of that. If I had asked the same, if someone asked me the same question, I would have said something uh, like India produces a lot of goods but not able to export it. I
Mm.
am not remembering what the goods are, but there are many examples of that, because we are not able to transport it in a better way or store it in a better way. Most of our goods get ruined and not being able to export in other countries. So we can use that part. Uh, yeah, only that part.
Yes, that was a good point actually. Exporting. Yeah, that's it. Mm.
I kind of prepared for this topic during when the budget was in the February.
Uh-huh.
So like my GDPI prep was during that time. So I was aware of some concepts, but I don't remember many things now.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, while speaking, I just came to like one question just strike me. Like when we go to a normal shop buying chips and all, buying Coke or anything, do we pay GST to them in that part,
Yes, in to whom?
to the shopkeeper?
To the shopkeeper, no, but to the company, yes. Like if we are buying from Lace, then we are paying indirect taxes to them, not the shopkeeper. If I'm not wrong.
Uh, yeah, I mean indirectly to government, but like in if 5 rupees release, that there is hidden GST in that.
Yes, yes, it is
Okay,
there.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it is there. I'm not able to recall the technical words right now, but it is there.
Okay, okay. Yes.
It is already added in like everything.
Hidden. Okay, that is it, Ayush. I don't have anything to add.
Yes, I will just see if I get some like data.
Uh huh.
Uh,
I think 28% is from income and 26% is for GST of the whole
just
tax.
a minute. Actually, written it down very well somewhere. I'm not able to find it right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh, yes. So there are like four major categories which I mentioned. From where India gets the government gets revenue. So first is borrowing, that is around 24%. Like borrowing means taking loans from either IMF or other countries.
mm,
And second is income tax, that is around 22%.
mm,
GST is around 18%,
mm.
and corporate tax is 17%. This almost covers like 90% of 90-95%.
Yes.
So GST is around 18%,
18%.
and income tax 22%.
Huh.
So if we reduce this, then we won't be able to have like a good uh, money in hand.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I have a question for you, not related to debate, just for your knowledge and a
Mm-hmm.
good data.
Mm-hmm.
India is in deficit or what's the other word? Explicit. F. What is opposite of deficit?
Deficiency. I'm not recalling.
I forgot now.
Deficit. Explicit.
Not explicit. Alexa, what is opposite of deficit?
From Adda247.com. The LCM, or least common multiple of 2 or more.
LCM of something. I'll check on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Opposite of deficit. Surplus.
Surplus, surplus.
Okay, yeah. So is India a trade deficit country or trade surplus country?
Trade deficit or trade surplus? I think it is deficit.
Uh, yes, it is deficit, but to certain countries it is in surplus.
Uh-huh.
I will ask you only three countries. China. Like if we take the
Ah,
overall, then India is in deficit. Now only I'm taking example of China. India with China, what is the relation? They export more or import more?
import more.
Import more. So we are in deficit. What about USA?
Mm, USA again. Import, I guess. But no, no. IT is
Uh,
there, so export.
Good logic. Not just because of IT, there are other factors also, but it was slight surplus we are having with USA.
Mm,
That's it.
yes. Yeah, that's it.
Mm. And like, do you know where government spends all their money?
Where?
Yeah.
Firstly, for them, like their income. Next is I think the roads and like statues and like tourist spots and what. Yeah, that is what I could come. Like maybe some ration or in that perspective or government hospitals.
What was the last point?
Ration for ration
Like, as in,
as in like giving like subsidized food or
it's very, very good. Like all the schemes which are there, like Pradhan Mantri Yojana,
Yoshna.
something is
Yeah.
mostly comes under that. You are correct almost, but just different choice of words.
Uh-huh.
Like what I wrote here is first is state share, like the whatever the central government is collecting, they divide it among the states first. That is around 22%. Second is interest payment because India has a lot of loans and they are like paying the interest every year. That is almost 20%, and 16% is all these schemes.
No.
Yeah, some good pointers.
Yes, good pointers. Yes.
Like, I had fun researching this during my preparation.
GDPI. Yes.
GDP, not today's debate,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. Is
Yes.
anything else?
Nothing else. I think we can like end the meet. Okay. Yes. It
Yes.
was great having you guys.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.